Hello, everyone. I'm Fozzie or Cam, and I'm here as always with my co-host Will. Will, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Cam. How about you?
I'm doing great, and we're joined once again by James here on the podcast. James, pleasure to have you back.
Pleasure to be back. I very much enjoyed the last time I was on here talking about uh, just a mix of different Marvel, Star Wars, even going on the rant of the positive rants about the Insomniac Spider-Man games. Enjoyed that. Enjoyed all of it in general. And when I got the invite from Will to have the chance to come back, I could I could not refuse. I just loved being on here last time, and I'm to say it briefly, I'm glad to be back.
Awesome. Yeah, we're glad to have you, and we have a huge schedule today because, as our loyal listeners know, we've missed, I don't know, 2 weeks. That's fine. We're getting back on track here. But anyway, right off the bat, we kind of have to start on a little bit of a somber note, unfortunately. James Earl Jones has unfortunately passed away. I mean, he's a legend, a voice actor and an actor. Obviously, most notably here on the podcast for voicing Darth Vader for forever. I mean, just an icon, really. And as we're all Star Wars fans here on the podcast, so yeah, we were all super saddened by the news of James Earl Jones's passing. Um, but we know he had such a legendary career, so, I mean, at least we can remember that. But we
Not to mention
also,
passing at 93. Not a
yes,
lot of people
I
can say
know,
that.
I know. He lived a long life, that's for sure. Um,
hmm
we also have some positive news that I'll mention here briefly. Will and I were discussing a little bit before the podcast. We're obviously, me and Will are New England Patriots fans. Um, we won this week. I don't even know how. I have no clue how. We're gonna dive deeper into the Patriots season and the NFL in general in a different episode, but that's mainly because of how much we have to cover today. First thing, I mean, we might as well get into it here because we've wanted to talk about this for a while, and now that we've all seen it, Alien Romulus, which was a movie I was pretty excited for. I can't say I'm a huge fan of the Alien franchise, but I mean, going into this to 2024 has been a pretty good year for movies, and I mean, I'm a huge fan of horror in general, so either way, I was gonna see this. And then I saw the reviews start to be positive, and I got more excited. I think the issue here is I think I got too excited, and I don't like when I do that for movies. When I get too excited and I don't end up liking the movie, it's a letdown, you know, because I thought this movie was just okay, to be completely honest with you. I mean, there were aspects of it that I liked, particularly the insane final act that I did not predict to happen at all. I was shocked by that. I thought that was super gripping, to be honest. But and like I said, I didn't completely not like this movie. It just wasn't as great as I thought it would be based off the reviews everyone was giving it. I think until the end, it played it kind of safe. Um, but I guess I can't say that with the ending in mind. I'll change it. I think it could have done even more to kind of set it apart from other movies in the Alien franchise. But saying that doesn't mean, like I said, it's a bad movie. Just wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. But James, we'll start with you because you're the guest on our podcast. What were your thoughts on Alien Romulus?
So I actually went back and rewatched a few of the original Aliens movies, the ones with the character Ripley. Remind me what her actual name is. I always forget.
Sigourney
Sigourney
Weaver,
Weaver. There we go.
the great
Yes, yes,
Sigourney Weaver.
yes.
She is fantastic. I am a
hmm
massive,
Yes,
massive fan of
Yeah,
hers.
I know
yeah.
Will's always been a fan of Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched like Alien, Aliens, Alien 3. I watched those, rewatched those just to because they said it took place
It was
in
between,
between,
right? Yeah.
yeah, in between the first and second, but had nothing to do with them
Yeah.
apparently. But I was still fine with going back watching them, and it was pretty fun. It was definitely not up to par with some of the CGI magic that uh, movies can be
Yeah.
today, but it was kind of a breath of fresh air, kind of just to see that in the kind of where movies, and especially the Aliens movies, have come from. And going and rewatching them was pretty nice. But now coming and seeing Aliens Romulus, I had a fun time seeing that one. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'd say that it's probably like one of my favorites. It's up there with the second one, Aliens. It's up there with, like, those two are my favorites. What I liked about it was that not only did it bring in like elements from the first ones, but a huge part of the plot in Romulus was taken from Aliens Prometheus, with like the black goo supposedly uh, like curing a person or something like that. But then it ends up, a xenomorph comes out of him or something like that. That I kind of enjoyed that. It's like kind of taking bits and pieces of different Aliens media and kind of smashing them together, and it worked. Honestly, it definitely worked in this, and I enjoyed that a lot. It was crazy seeing just how scary the scenes were, and just everything about it. Comparing it to, like I said, some of the first Aliens movies. It was weird, but it was still I feel like that's what made it a bit more horrifying for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think this had some. I mean, I haven't seen every Alien movie. Like, I haven't seen Prometheus. I've heard people talk about it. But this was definitely, out of the Alien movies that I've seen, one of, if not the scariest. I think it's just because it's more modern, and the CGI gives them the ability to make things more scary. But glad to hear that you liked it, James. But Will, what were your thoughts on Alien Romulus?
Yeah, so I'm surprised to even hear myself say this, but this was the first Alien movie that I have seen, and I'm surprised to hear myself say that, because the originals are so iconic, and I think Sigourney Weaver is just a great actor. I mean, I'm just thinking, in the Ghostbusters movies, and the Avatar movies, and the Marvel show, the Defenders, she has just really impressed me over the years with her acting abilities. And James Cameron, obviously director of the film Aliens, I have an immense amount of respect for him. I think his movie Titanic is as good of a movie as I've ever seen. I think that movie is an absolute masterpiece. So I'm definitely going to have to go and watch the first two at some time. But yeah, Alien Romulus, I would say it wasn't bad, but also certainly not great. Like, there are a lot of things that I think could have been done, better. I'd say for the first like the final third, like the third act of the movie, I thought it picked up, but for the the first like 2/3 of it, I thought it just kind of dragged. Script was like okay. I was just like just kind of meandering along. I thought it picked up a bit in the third act, but also I would say, an issue that I had was, like, even though, and this is not necessarily a problem, but, like, even though this is my first Aliens movie, like, what's gonna happen. These big, scary aliens are gonna come out and attack the main characters, and that's gonna be the storyline. And so I think it was a combination of that, and also that, I saw this movie a few weeks after, it was out in theater, so I didn't get to see it in, like, IMAX or 3D and on the biggest screen possible. I think there were some other movies, might have been Deadpool and Wolverine, that our local Napa theater was screening in those formats. So part of it might have been just the smaller screen that I saw it on, but the aliens just, like I didn't, have like the big, like crazy, like jump scares. Oh my gosh, I'm just like utterly like edge of my seat, horrified. I didn't have that in the film, and I think part of that, also comes from, hey, what's gonna happen. These aliens are gonna, attack the characters, and that's gonna be the main storyline of the film. So I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it picks up in the third act, but on the whole, I just found myself saying, this could just be better.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I definitely see what you're saying with the third act picking up. Like I said, I thought it played a little safe. So yeah, I think I agree with you there, Will. I think it definitely had a lot of potential, and it didn't totally live up to it. But next year, I mean, we might as well talk about this now because it's coming out soon. Agatha All Along, the show, and I want to like it because I love WandaVision. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. But the more, like, trailers or whatever, TV spots that I see from this show, the less good it looks. And I hate to say that because, like I said, WandaVision is, like, my favorite post-Endgame project from Marvel and one of my favorite Marvel projects in general. Um, my only issue being with it is the finale didn't exactly stick the landing, but I can look past that. The rest of the show was great. So I'm just hoping this is good. And right now, as of now, my opinion on this show, and I mean I haven't seen the show yet, but right now it's looking like a Disney show, like a Disney TV show that you just see on when you're like a kid. It doesn't seem like a Marvel show, like a big budget Marvel show. Maybe that's not what it's trying to be, but I don't know. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. Will, what are your thoughts on Agatha All Along so far? I mean, with all
As
the trailers and stuff.
as much I hate to say it, I completely agree with what you were saying, Cam. I mean, I also, I mean, WandaVision is not the type of show that I would watch every day, but I do have an immense amount of respect for that show, and I think what they
Yeah.
were able to pull off and taking the MCU in totally new and unexpected directions and ushering in this new, you know, you know, TV, shows and not just movies era, which has obviously had its ups and downs, but a great kickstart with WandaVision. I obviously applaud it. But when I watch these previews for Agatha All Along, I'm like, okay, it's not like there's no intrigue. It's not like there are not some interesting concepts, but also sometimes I'm just like, that like this just isn't hooking me like it should. Like sometimes I'm just like, I think the writing could be better here. And also, Catherine Hahn is a fantastic actor,
Yeah, I
but
really like her.
I don't like her character. Her character is a villain in WandaVision, and if they suddenly want me to get behind her and actually care
Yeah.
for her, they're gonna have to flesh the character out in ways that they have not done so far. And I don't always like, having the lead character. Like, I'm fine with the lead character being complicated, like Tony Stark, but at least give me some redeemable aspects about them. And if they don't do that with Agatha, it's gonna make it harder for me. So, as much as I hate to say it, Cam, I'm in total agreement with you. So far, I'm just like, I don't think it's gonna be a bad show, but is it gonna be a great show? No, I don't think so.
James?
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to agree. Like, I'm not as hooked as I feel like I would like to be or should be, because it's just how I see it is it's just a character that, like, we only see in one series, like in one being WandaVision, and I just don't really care that much. Like, it's
Yeah.
like making a whole Disney Plus series about the villain from the Marvels or something. I don't know. Like,
I
and
couldn't even name who that villain is, by the way.
neither could I. Neither
I
could
don't
I,
know what the
honestly.
point of that character was.
I couldn't. I honest to God can't remember for the life of me either. But yeah, it's like kind of like Will said, just not really any like redeeming qualities from Agatha that just hook me as a main character for a Disney Plus series should, and just it and. I'm gonna have to agree with the statement of how it looks like something you'd see on like Disney Channel or something like that. Like it looks like it was built to have laugh soundtracks in. That's
Yeah,
how weird it is. It
I
looks like it
know.
would have like laugh soundtracks and like breaks within the episode, or like we'll be right back after this commercial break or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's just like I don't think it's going to be horrible, but I just don't think that it's going to be that good compared to WandaVision or something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you heard what I said, but I have one little thing that I'm kind of holding out hope for this show. I mean, it's Marvel and I like Marvel, so that's one thing keeping me interested. But another thing, WandaVision subverted our expectations. When I saw the trailer for WandaVision, I was mostly confused, but I was also not that interested because, I mean, Wanda and Vision are in the movies, in the Avengers movies and Civil War. They're like the least interesting characters in those movies, and that's, I mean, they're not bad. They weren't bad by any means, but WandaVision expanded upon these characters and made us really like them by the end. I mean, maybe not like them, but compelled by them, I guess. Um, maybe that's what they'll do with Agatha too, and it being from the same people who worked on WandaVision gives me more hope for that. But that's it. That's kind of the extent that my hope for the show reaches out to. Because I mean, I want it to be good as a Marvel fan, and I really want to enjoy it. But I just don't know. But I mean, we'll see September 18th when it comes out, and I mean, we're all Marvel fans. We're all gonna watch the 2-episode premiere the night it comes out. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I'm moderately excited, interested. I think interested would be the word. But next here, I mean, if we stay on the topic of Marvel here, we might as well. Um, Ultron is coming back, and I just got to give my opinion here. So, Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr.'s back. Ultron's back. Marvel is kind of desperate, I think, and I kind of didn't want to say that. I didn't want to go right there right away when I heard about RDJ back as Doctor Doom. I I still don't think it's totally out of desperation that they're bringing him back. But then they do this and bring back Ultron. That they're just confirming the accusations that they are desperate for people to watch their content. And I mean, I think I like Ultron. I think Ultron's a cool character. But why just do something new? And I guess technically it makes sense because Vision, the Vision show, whatever. Vision is Ultron, kinda. But Vision shouldn't even have his own show. I don't think that should ever have happened. He had WandaVision. That was it. He should have died after that. They should have gotten rid of White Vision. We got to move on from that. We don't need that. I like the character of Vision. I like the character of Ultron, but it's kind of going along with these Agatha type things. It's just unnecessary. I mean, and once again, maybe it'll shock me, but I doubt it. Unnecessary, desperate. That's kind of what I'm feeling from this Ultron, bring back Ultron stunt that they're doing. Will, what are your thoughts on Ultron coming back to the MCU?
Could you call it desperate? Absolutely. I said that about Marvel bringing back the Russo brothers and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, and they brought back the Russo brothers.
I said it's a great move because they're all extremely talented at what they do, but it's also desperate because none of their new stuff has worked, so they're going back to what worked. With Ultron, I would say now, as much as I hate to say it, if I was ranking the Avengers movies, Avengers Age of Ultron would be last on my list. I'd go Endgame, Infinity War, the original Avengers, then Age of Ultron. So Ultron did not stick out to me amongst villains like Thanos or Loki, the villains from the other two Avengers movies did. That being said, I'm gonna come back to the phrase, I don't care what you do, just do it well. And, reading articles about this, I was reminded of the history that Ultron has with Vision. So, I totally hear what you're saying, Cam, about it being desperate, but I'm also like, maybe they're going to explore more of the relationship between these two characters, and maybe it's going to be really, really compelling. So I think what I ultimately come back to is, I don't care what you do, just do it well. And if Marvel brings back Ultron and they do it well, then I got no issue with it. I just hope that's the path that they take and not the desperate path that you talked about, Cam.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I think there are some good things. Like I said, I like the character. But for me right now, I'm sticking with Desperate. I have to. But yeah, I guess you said if it works, it works, though, right? I don't know. I guess we'll see. James, what are your thoughts on Ultron? I'm back.
Not only do I agree with how it definitely follows in suit with them being with Marvel being desperate first bringing back the Russo brothers and RDJ for Avengers Doomsday, now bringing back Ultron for this Vision series or whatever. It also not only do I think it is desperate, but one thing I'm worried about is that it's going to they might ruin the character of Ultron, because I actually I actually really enjoyed Age of Ultron quite a bit, and I enjoyed Ultron's character about how like everything's gonna die at some point. Might as well just make it now and start over or something like humans are far too gone. We gotta end it. Like pretty much like an Avengers Terminator, pretty much. But and yeah, I enjoyed his character. I thought it was I thought Age of Ultron made Ultron's character very compelling, and having Vision kind of like counterbalance that, and kind of bringing in points like it's not about that it ends. It's about being able to be with it and enjoy it. And I kind of enjoyed that duality in Age of Ultron, but what I'm scared about is that like that's kind of going to be a bit ruined in
Yeah.
the Vision series. Like I enjoyed those characters, and I don't want them like that's one of the problems I have how you guys were saying, kind of reusing old things. If it's good and it's and people like it, great. But reusing it time and time and time and time again, it just doesn't have that same wow factor as it did the first or second time. And I don't want that to be the case with Ultron
Yeah.
or even Vision in this case. And also it kind of feels like with Vision kind of returning, however that's going to work, kind of makes Wanda's whole motive for in Multiverse of Madness kind of a bit
Yeah.
it kind of messes with that a little bit. But I get it was more
Yeah.
about having it was more of about Wanda's kids
I
than
guess. Yeah.
Vision. But that was still kind of a turn. But losing Vision was still a turning point to make Wanda a villain. That was still kind of a whole point of that, like losing like how Wanda says in Endgame, you took everything from me to Thanos. That was one of the stepping stones to Wanda just becoming a full blown villain in Multiverse of Madness. And now that Vision's coming back, it just kind of feels like that whole thing was just kind of like forgotten, and just now is kind of, I don't know, just just doesn't fit in with them just bringing back Vision and Ultron.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna bounce back to Agatha real quick because I just remembered something I wanted to bring up. I kind of want to ask all of you guys. I don't really even have an answer for this myself. Um, if I the question is, do you think Wanda will come back in or make an appearance or be mentioned or something? Well, I guess she already is mentioned in the trailers of Agatha. Do you think she'll make an appearance? Do you think she's really dead? I don't know. Well, what do you think?
This is kind of a gut feeling, but for some reason, I'm just leaning toward no. I get the sense that, from some comments that she's made. I mean, I think Elizabeth Olsen did say that she, would come back if it was well done. But I also think Elizabeth Olsen is not trying to just box herself into Marvel and also appear in some other projects as well. And I also think, they're trying to make this Agatha show. This is about her and her character. Wanda's not a part of it anymore. And I think bringing her in could kind of distract from the fact that, this is Agatha and this is her show and this is her journey. So I could be totally wrong, but my gut instinct right now tells me no, she's not going to appear.
What do you think, James?
I'm hoping not, just because kind of the whole kind of the same statement that I made with the Vision series. Just like if they brought Wanda back, I just like that whole sacrifice scene would just feel like
Yeah.
just kind of unnecessary. But also, like Will stated, this isn't uh Wanda Agatha or something like that. It's Agatha's series. It should be
Yeah.
about Agatha, and also like Will stated as well. They mentioned I mean yeah they did mention Wanda, but well, yeah they're definitely are going to obviously have to mention Wanda because like you can't really bring up Agatha without Wanda because
Yeah.
Agatha was the main villain in WandaVision. So maybe they'll confirm if Wanda is. They'll probably confirm Wanda is dead, or they'll pull a move like in Ahsoka where Ezra said, like how Ezra said, so is Palpatine, is the Emperor dead? And then Sabine says, that's what they say. He could somehow return. I don't know, but that they could pull something like that, and then boom, back in Secret Wars. See, not dead. Whoop de doo,
Yeah.
or something like that, and again make that sacrifice kind of pointless. So I'm hoping not, but for the ability to make people talk about Agatha all along a bit more, get people watching it and talking it more. It wouldn't be the craziest thing, in my opinion, to see Wanda return.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if she came back. I don't. I think if they want us to care about the show, they just gotta focus on Agatha. To be honest, but I mean, I love WandaVision so much, and now I'm compelled by the character of Wanda so much. I wouldn't be bothered if she had a brief cameo, but we all know she'll come back in Secret Wars if she has to come back in this, because everyone has to come back in Secret Wars, even Robert Downey Jr. as someone else. Which I mean, I'm not even complaining about because I love RDJ and I'm happy he's back. But it just you know how it is. Um,
Yeah.
and now, briefly, because we're gonna have a little break here, a little intermission for us, as we usually do. Briefly, we can talk about the new Jurassic World, which, oh my goodness, I don't want to watch this movie at all. I don't care. I don't care about this stupid movie. I have no interest in this franchise anymore. I have lost all interest in this franchise. Dominion was terrible, and it ended. At least it had an ending, and I mean that gave it something. Relied on nostalgia too much. It was too much. It was ridiculous. The one before that, what was it? Fallen Kingdom or something like that.
Yeah, Fallen Kingdom.
I didn't mind it. I guess I thought it was a cool concept, but then it's all terrible. I don't like Dominion. The thing about Jurassic World. It's the thing about Jurassic Park is like it's all contained. It's kind of scary, and then they turn it into like Mission Impossible, like an action thriller, and that's not what Jurassic Park or even the first Jurassic World is. So I don't know why they continue to make it something that's not, and then they're gonna make this movie, and it's probably gonna be the same as the rest. And they honestly should have ended with the Jurassic Park trilogy, and maybe made one Jurassic World movie. I thought the first one was pretty good. And now we're gonna do another trilogy. We're gonna do another trilogy with new people to get attached to. This is one of the most overrated franchises of all time, in my opinion. I think the only really good movies, and this is saying something because two of them are directed by Steven Spielberg and aren't good. The two good movies in this franchise, I think, at least, are Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. The rest are either mediocre or just straight up bad, like Jurassic World Dominion is. And I mean, I said this, I guess, as a theme this episode with me, but maybe I'll be shocked by this stupid new Jurassic World movie. But for now, without seeing trailers, maybe trailer will change my mind. I don't know. But as of now, I have such little interest in this cash grab of a movie. Well, how do you feel about this? What is it? Jurassic World Reborn or something?
Jurassic
Revival?
World Rebirth.
Rebirth, yeah.
James is the person I'm looking forward to hearing on this because James is a massive Jurassic Park fan and seen all the movies. The two that I've seen, I watched the original Jurassic Park when it got re-released in the theater last year with James, which I liked a lot, and then I watched Dominion recently just out of curiosity because I was just curious to see what they would do bringing the original cast back: Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, and obviously Dominion, as you said, Cam, is not a great film, but it had, as you said, it had closure to it. Like the whole, I feel like, theme of the movie was, can humans and dinosaurs coexist? And the movie answered that question with a yes at the end, and I was just like, oh, okay, Jurassic World Dominion, yeah, not great, but at least it brought the franchise to a conclusion that felt like the right place to end it on. But no, here we go. We're coming back. Jurassic World Rebirth. What are we gonna do? Oh no, dinosaurs! Like this is like, how many times can that concept be used before it's done? The only Jurassic Park / Jurassic World movie that's well reviewed is the original. All the ones after that don't get great reviews from what I've seen. And I just want to come back to what you said, Cam. I can this is such, I feel like this is such a money grab. I almost can't even believe it. We make one great movie, a bunch of sequels that are not well reviewed, but they make a lot of money, and because we care about money, we're going to keep making them, even though Jurassic World Dominion clearly wrapped up the franchise, and I feel like there's just no other place to go after that. But nope, we're coming back because we are Hollywood and we care about money. Every part of my issue with modern cinema is a movie like this. This is so ridiculous to me. I think it's such a money grab. I can't stand it. I will see it because I look forward to talking about it on the podcast and maybe having James back on the podcast to talk about it. There is nothing about this movie that compels me. I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be absolutely terrible. But I cannot wait to hear from James after our break.
All right, now James, just wondering now, what was what's your opinion on Jurassic World Rebirth? Stupid name.
So, I actually kind of have quite a different opinion from your guys's. Now before I say it, I will say that I see where you guys are coming from. I can see that it definitely is a bit of a cash grab. It probably won't live up to as it won't live up to the first Jurassic Park or some of the second, third, and fourth ones. But however, I'm hopeful that this one will still be good. It's got a few good actors and actresses in it, including Scarlett Johansson. And having this one, and I also do agree with I do agree that Dominion did kind of give a good conclusive ending, but now they're making another one. But I mean, Then again, you could say that about quite a lot of other franchises out there as well. You could, I mean, Star Wars. You could say that, like,
you can even say for Marvel,
3, 4, 5 times over. Marvel, a bunch of other ones.
Yeah,
maybe like, I don't know, stuff like Terminators, like just a bunch of the Hollywood classics and stuff like that.
I guess.
But yeah, I'm hopeful that this one will be better, and it will be better than some of the other two, like Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. I didn't really care for those things that much, but I'm hopeful that this one will maybe be a bit different from those two. And now I could be okay. I could be very wrong about this. So take this with a grain of salt. But I heard somewhere that it might be rated R.
I heard that too. I was interested by that.
I That's what's also making me quite hopeful. That's what's making me hopeful. Uh it's always it, it's always something to see uh the dinosaurs just brutally mauling
Yeah.
someone in the movie. So with adding like it possibly being rated R and being able to take that to another level, I think that I might I'm gonna enjoy this no matter what, just because I grew up with Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, and it's quite nostalgic to me. So I'm definitely going to go and see this no matter what. I am probably going to enjoy it, but I still I agree with the statements of it being cash grab, a little bit unnecessary, but yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it will stand out and uh, be a bit better.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, the R rating could definitely help it stand out, but as of now, with it not being confirmed to be R rated, my hopes are low. Actually, I don't even have hopes. But now, briefly, before we get to our last topic of the episode, James mentioned that that we should briefly talk about the Minecraft movie trailer, which is a game that I used to play quite a bit. I lost the disc to the game like a year ago, and I haven't played it like myself since. I might have had it on my computer. I don't know. But I used to like about 2 years ago. I used to play that game every single day. And I mean, I'll also play it off and off when I had the disc and stuff, and when I played on my computer. But these days, I'm not really running Minecraft, but it's obviously a legendary game, and I've had a lot of fun playing it. But what were they thinking? What could they have possibly been thinking? Uh, what? It looks like they just pulled Jack Black off the street. I don't know what they're doing. It looks terrible. It looks horrible. I mean, this is gonna be another movie like the Borderlands movie was. It's gonna be another horrible video game movie. What the? Yeah, why wasn't it just animated and have Jack Black voice Steve or something, or have an actual voice actor voice Steve maybe, or don't make the movie. Either one. I mean, this was ridiculous, and it looks terrible. And I mean, I don't even know what the story is. It doesn't make sense. If you're gonna be a stickler and look back at Minecraft lore, why are the piglins not zombified in the overworld? It doesn't make sense. Why was the portal blue at the beginning? Those are all things that don't make any sense in the Minecraft universe. And that's just aside from all the other things, like the actual Minecraft lore isn't properly incorporated into the movie. I don't know. That's just me being kind of a pet about this, but it's true. I mean, if they're gonna do it, they should have at least gotten their facts right or something. But I like Jack Black usually when he doesn't look like he just really wanted some money. I don't know what they were thinking with this. Will, I know you not a huge gamer, but Dad, did you get a chance to watch the trailer?
I did get a chance to watch the trailer, and obviously you both will be able to speak with much more knowledge about this than me as people who have played the Minecraft game. But obviously, for me as somebody who doesn't have knowledge of the game, I agree with you, Cam. I thought it looked absolutely terrible. I thought just horribly written, horribly acted. Like there was nothing about it that was compelling to me, and I just want to go back to what I said earlier. Movies like this to me are the problem with Hollywood nowadays. These movies that just aren't just well written or just or well made, and yet they're the ones that make a bunch of money. And that's why
Yeah.
Barbie and Oppenheimer were so refreshing to me. The Holdovers, Cam, one of our favorite movies from last year.
Love
The
it.
fact that that was even a major release and not an independent film is kind of shocking to me with where Hollywood is at nowadays. Some of the independent films I've seen recently, I'm like,
Yeah,
wow,
the Independent Movie Film Festival.
these are way more creative and well done than so many of these just worthless Hollywood big blockbuster movies that I see. So as much as I hate to say it, I just look at Hollywood in general right now and I'm just like, it is getting overpopulated with these just big budget, not well made, horrible films. And I just think it's so just not great. And this Minecraft movie to me only exemplifies issues with the current Hollywood state of films.
Yeah, James, what were your thoughts on this trailer? And I know since you've played the game, you probably have some things to say about this for sure.
So yeah, I do play the game quite a bit. I enjoy it, and um, I'd say that I have quite a bit of knowledge on it. And to counter what you were saying about like how some of the things aren't accurate to the actual game, like the blue portal, the pigmen or piglins on the overworld or whatever. There is Minecraft has made a few spin-off games. One of which is called Minecraft Legends,
Oh
and
yeah,
the whole plot of that was the piglins were trying to overtake the overworld or something. I didn't play it. I saw many people play it, seen trailers and all that, and I think that that's what it's more based off of. Kind of like the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. That was more of based off of the novels, the novelizations, rather than the actual games. I feel like. I think that they're going for more something like that, which I mean that's kind of more of the because like Minecraft is a sandbox game. Like it doesn't have a story to it.
yeah. I
Whereas with
mean, it
the
just has like the
spin-off games,
boss fights, I guess, but that's not really a
yeah,
story. Yeah,
no, but like with Minecraft Legends, Minecraft Dungeons, like those two spin-off games, they have a story. They have a story to them that can be made into a plot of a movie. Um, and I think that that's the route that they're going with. However, don't this does not make. I'm not saying that it's going to be good. That's not what I'm saying at all. It looks bad. It just looks so off having
and
just
green
a
screen and stuff.
very blocky AI-ish looking Minecraft world with these poorly green screened in live action people. Um, I just to start off, Jason Momoa. What was Jason Momoa dressed up as? It looks just all of the outfits for the main characters just looked off. And like you said, Jack Black just looked like he just woke up, threw on a blue T-shirt, and said, "I am Steve." It just looked
Yeah,
so weird. But yeah, I'm going. I will see it. I'm still kind of excited for it, but I don't know. It looks weird. It would have been, like you said, much better if it was animated. Like, Will, I showed you. Yeah, I showed you. Like, they have these launch trailers for that Minecraft releases for the different updates. How like the kind of the animated style. I
yeah.
showed you that, right?
Yes.
Okay, that I feel like is what the movie should have been. It should have been kind of like
I
the
agree.
Mario Bros. Movie. That it should have been something like that. Just
Yeah,
fully animated, like you said, Jack Black, Jason Momoa, all of them voice acting the characters rather than it them dressing up poorly as Minecraft characters. But yeah, and it also kind of just, but I mean, one thing that they could maybe do that would kind of fix what the monstrosity of the Minecraft trailer as what it might be is pull the same move that they did that Paramount did for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie back in like
Yeah, the ugly Sonic thing.
2020. Yeah. It started out as very ugly, just human teeth.
Yeah.
Just looked weird, but
Oh.
then they redesigned. They went back, redesigned Sonic to look more accurate to the games, and it worked. It worked well, and I feel like maybe if Warner Brothers were to go back and try and do that uh, before this releases, I think that could also fix it. If it worked once with Sonic, I don't see why it wouldn't work again for uh, Minecraft as well. But like those are the two different ways that I could see that it being better. But I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't if it doesn't change from how it's going to be. And I don't think that I'm a fan of that. Honestly, it's just all I like. I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record saying this like 5 times now, but it just looks off. That's the best way that I can just describe the Minecraft movie trailer. It looks off.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, there was. I think the Mario type of route would probably have been the best thing they could do. They also, I mean, I think I said it before. They also could have made it. It didn't have to be They didn't have to make a Minecraft movie, and I mean, the no one played Minecraft Legends. No one really played Minecraft Legends. All everyone's done really is play the servers and is like Hypixel and play the game, right? With defeat the
You know
Ender
what it
Dragon,
could
defeat the
be?
Wither.
You know what it could be? It could be them also trying to promote Minecraft Legends as well. It could just be them being like, "Hey, if you like the plot of this, then you'll love our game Minecraft Legends," or
Yeah,
something like.
that could be
It
what
could
it
very
needs to
well
be
be a
honest.
giant commercial, like a 2.5 hour commercial for Minecraft Legends.
Uh,
It could very well be that. That would be the funniest thing in my opinion.
That'd be wild. And all right, here's what I'll do. I'll try to play Minecraft Legends. I'll hold myself accountable to this. Around the time we get maybe when the like official full trailer for Minecraft comes out, I'll download Minecraft Legends. I'll play it, and then when the movie comes out, I'll kind of compare it and see, or when the trailer comes out, I'll kind of compare it and see if my opinion changes or something. But I have a feeling it's not, because what I think they probably could have done was it could have been so much more simple. They could have just made it like a sandbox game in a movie. They they, they could have made it animated, and they could have just made it they're trying to survive the night. They try to get in gear. They have to fight the Ender Dragon. Not whatever this Jumanji type of thing we. You know what this movie looks like? This is the biggest comparison I think here that I could make. If you haven't heard of this movie, I don't blame you. You probably shouldn't have heard this movie, but this goes for our viewers too. If you ever heard of the movie Shark Boy and Lava Girl, I've never seen the movie. I've seen clips from it. If you've never heard of it, I mean, I don't see why you would have heard of it. But watch the Minecraft movie trailer and then Google Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and you will see what I'm talking about. It is, it feels like I'm in 2003 watching like a Spy Kids or Shark Boy and Lava Girl in 3D. I mean, that's what it feels like. So if you're interested in that, I'd recommend just you don't watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Don't watch the movie. It's why would you watch it? But just look up what it looks like, and then you'll see what I mean. Anyway, moving on from this atrocity of a trailer, James, I'm being told you have a lot of strong opinions on the Acolyte show being canceled and just the Acolyte show in general. The entire show, the entire Everything podcast, has heard my opinion on the Acolyte without seeing the show far too many times.
So did you just out of out of curiosity, Cam, I know you watched the first episode. Did you get a chance to watch the whole show or no?
I watched the first. So I can't believe I did this. You know, this goes against everything I stand for when I'm watching shows, and I do feel like I did something wrong. I watched the first episode, and I watched the last episode,
Oh wow.
and
First and the last. Wow.
yeah, it was a mistake. And I wanted to see Plagueis. I really wanted to see Darth Plagueis. And I did, and I was happy. And that was like, maybe I'll watch that the rest of the show. I don't know if that day will ever come. But the finale I thought was fine. I mean, I wish Yoda had a speaking line at the end. That would have been fun. But it was fun. And the first episode I thought was fine enough. It just doesn't compel me enough to watch the whole show. And one day, I think maybe one day, I'll end up watching the Acolyte. But as it stands right now, this show does not matter at all in the overall Star Wars universe. But if it does start to matter, I will watch the show. I can guarantee that. But there were some cool concepts introduced, I guess, based off what I heard in other episodes. And Darth Plagueis was cool. So Will, most of us know your thoughts on the Acolyte. You actually enjoyed the show, for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm. I did, and I would be happy to share some more thoughts in a bit, but I really want to give my good friend James the floor because I know he is just bursting at the seams to talk about this show. So I'm gonna kick back and James, take it away.
Cam, before I start, do you mind if I reference and say things from the other episodes that you have not watched?
Go ahead, please. I want to know what the show is like.
Okay, so take my buddy old pal here, Will. Take his hatred for She-Hulk and multiply that by 100.
No,
That's how much I hate the Acolyte. It just there's just so many things wrong with it. But where do I begin? Where I don't even know where to begin. I guess I'll start with how it goes against the canon of Star Wars as a whole. It goes against it entirely. You have this cult of witches that
I heard about this stuff.
They perfectly create two children from the Force. I'm sorry, the thread. Now this wasn't really described too much in the actual movies, but Plagueis didn't perfectly create Anakin the way he was. No, he the Force pretty much has a mind of its own, and Plagueis with all of his power, and he's a very keep in mind Plagueis is a very powerful character, very powerful villain and Sith Lord in Star Wars. He tries to create the ultimate Sith being, pretty much, and the Force is pretty much nuh-uh. You're getting Anakin, who is the balance between the light and the dark side, and then you have this random cult of witches that we have never heard of before, ever, just perfectly creating Force-sensitive children too. It's no longer the prophecy of the chosen one; it's the chosen three. What the flip? And it's just that part I just don't get at all. One thing that they also did that I felt was kind of weird, that was they made the Jedi the bad guys. The Jedi, who used the light side of the Force, the keepers of the peace, they made them the oppressors on a cult of witches. They they're somehow the bad guys because I don't know. They're somehow the bad guys, and like so, like it's just like I'm just getting flustered just trying to get the words out. But like basically you have this cult of witches that are performing dark magic and creating children from the force. Stupid, but like, and then you're expecting the Jedi to not do anything about that and let them do their own thing. Like, I don't think that that's how that would work at all. Like in the prequels or anything like that. It just makes the Jedi in the Acolyte seem like completely different. If this took place, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 years in the past, sure, maybe I would find a bit acceptable because that's a lot of time between the two. But no, it takes place less than 100 years. It takes place less than 100 years before the Phantom Menace. That's like a whole lifetime away from each other. That's a whole and I and the whole the cameos at the end, hated those because that just
They were cool to see, I guess, but fan service. I mean,
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see so when I first watched episode 8, I didn't see that. I glanced away or something like that. Maybe I was bleaching my eyes or something. I don't know. When Darth Plagueis showed up, or maybe I fell asleep or something. It just wasn't that. It just wasn't that. It just wasn't. It didn't captivate me at all. And like when I went back and saw on social media that I can't believe Darth Plagueis is in this, and I was like, no, he's not. No, why would they do this? And then Yoda at the end, I laughed so hard after I thought it was hysterical. Not
you
in a
don't
good
even
way.
get a speaking
I
line.
laughed at it just the same way that I found the Marvels to be laughable. No, maybe more than that too. And it didn't. And another thing that didn't help was just the characters didn't seem that interesting. Like the only character that I really found very interesting was what's his name? It was the dude that it was OSHA's master or whatever
Soul.
he was. Yeah, Soul. That's the character that I was interested in, and he got turned around into being looked like a villain, and then got killed, and then got framed. Like he was like one of the few reasons why I was still kind of a little bit interested in the Acolyte. That, and it was just kind of hard to look away from this giant train wreck that was going on for so long. And one of the other reasons, I'm not gonna talk too much about this because you'll see why in a second, but it felt like it had an agenda under the it felt like it had some kind of agenda going on with it, because just you had this cult of this small minority of witches that were being oppressed by this majority of Jedi or something like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna say any we're not gonna go into too much detail on that, but I think you get the idea. And just it doesn't need this is Star Wars. This is not supposed to be lovely life lessons with Leslie Headland.
Yeah.
I just came up. I did not plan that. That just rolled off the tongue.
That was good. Yeah. So this show, I mean, seems mostly like it was financially and critically a complete train wreck for Disney and Star Wars. And I think Andor will help them get back on top, and the success of Deadpool and Wolverine will help Disney get back on top. And Disney was never really not on top, so it didn't really matter that the show wasn't successful at all, because they have ridiculous amounts of money. So in the grand scheme of things, the failure of this show, it doesn't affect Star Wars, it doesn't affect Marvel, it doesn't affect Disney at all. And that's kind of crazy to think about, because they spent like $100 million on this show. They spent way too much money on Acolyte. If they spent that money on Mando Season 3, maybe it would have been good. I mean, that, you know my opinion on the show. But Will, is there anything you'd like to add on the Acolyte?
Yeah, so I would love to add some more. So I'm going to give the controversial opinion about this show. I don't think it's, I definitely don't think it's a great Star Wars show. I think there are shows, Rebels, Ahsoka, Mando, Kenobi, even the Boba Fett episodes when they brought Luke in episode 2 where he gets inducted into the tribe, I would say are better. That being said, even though I don't think it's a great Star Wars show, I did think it was a good, solid Star Wars show. And I think me and James watch Star Wars through two different lenses. I think, James, you are like a Star Wars expert through and through. Like you've watched it a ton. And, I have all these other things that I watch besides just Marvel and Star Wars that not that you don't also, James, but I think, James, like you've spent so much time with Star Wars that you're able to see all these little like minute details that I wouldn't be able to detect on the level that you're able to. So I just kind of looked at it from, is it like a good, well done show or not? And I did think it was a good show. And what I appreciated about it was I thought it introduced some fresh concepts that we hadn't seen in Star Wars before, which I think the franchise is in need of, if they want to stay relevant. I've never seen a Star Wars show with that many Jedi getting killed off, just one after another, episode after episode after episode. I thought that was an interesting twist. Soul just ruthlessly, gruesomely dying in the last episode. That's one of the most just tragic, gruesome deaths I've ever seen in Star Wars. That I thought was new. Osha, turning to the dark side at the end of the show. That was not what I would have expected to happen at the start of the show, because they were setting her up as the protagonist, but they ended up doing that, which I thought was interesting. And James, I don't think they necessarily made the Jedi the bad guys. I think the Jedi were trying to protect Osha and May because they didn't, like what, they didn't like how the witches were treating them. And I actually thought they set up this kind of whole complicated concept of, like not necessarily like full on like the Jedi are the bad guys and the witches are the good guys. Like I actually thought they made it more kind of complicated and whose side should you be on in a way that I had never seen a Star Wars show do before. So I appreciated that about it. But I also want to talk about this with the show, and this has nothing to do with the quality. Although I do want to point out now, audiences hated this show. 18% on Rotten Tomatoes for this show. This show was not loved by the audiences. The critics a little bit better though, 78%. So I do want to point that out. But I want to talk about the show from a different standpoint. This is something that I've been thinking about, and I think it's worthwhile to be brought up. So The Acolyte has obviously been, at least for now, canceled. It's not coming back for a season 2, but The Acolyte, and this is not something new with Star Wars, was subject to toxic fan attacks. And the actors have come out and talked about this. And this is not something new with Star Wars. I believe John Boyega and Kelly Marie Tran, Finn and Rose from the sequel trilogy have come out and talked about this. This is not a new theme in Star Wars, these toxic attacks from fans that don't even have to do with as far as I'm concerned, the quality of the show, but instead, we got a female in the lead or we got people of color as the cast and not white people as the leads of the show. Just these toxic attacks from fans that have nothing to do with the quality of the show. And I was thinking, if you're Lucasfilm and you're Star Wars and you're Disney and you want to fix this issue, canceling the Acolyte after one season, I don't think that does it. I actually think it enables the toxic fan behavior even more. I think it says, okay, you don't like this show for these. No, I'm not saying the toxic fan behavior is why they canceled the show. I think they canceled it because viewership was going down and fans didn't like it. But I still think it's sending a message of, okay, if you do this toxic behavior, that doesn't matter. If you don't like a show for these reasons, we'll just cancel it after one season, and you can go on and do your toxic behavior again. So if I'm Star Wars and I'm Lucasfilm and I'm Disney, I don't think canceling the show after one season is going to fix this just incredibly toxic fan behavior in any way. I actually think it's going to worsen it. And I think this is an issue we have seen come up with Star Wars time and time again for something that doesn't even have to do with the quality of the show. And I just find it so unnecessary. And if I'm Star Wars and Lucasfilm and Disney, I would really take the time to consider if canceling this show after one season is going to fix this toxic fan issue, because I don't think it is, and I think it's a major problem, and I think Disney and Star Wars need to really look at if they're handling it right now.
The thing with that is, Star Wars and Disney have kind of always been enabling toxic fans from the jump. These annoying Star Wars fans, just hating on the character of Rose. How does Disney, how does Star Wars respond? Essentially, remove her from the movie in Rise of Skywalker. So, it makes sense to me that they canceled this show. And in all fairness, I don't think it was doing that well. I don't think the viewership was very high.
That's
so there
true.
is that reason too. And that makes it slightly different than the Rose thing. But, that issue still does have to be taken into account. But that about wraps up this episode of the Everything Podcast. James, thank you very much for joining us again. We'd love to have you back. Will, thanks for joining me as always.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. And two things to take away from this episode. One, watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And two, the main villain of the Marvels is named Dar-Ben.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Everything Podcast, and we'll see you next time.